You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Howdy, folks. It's Andrew from the Fallout feed, and I just wanted to talk a little about something I've been really obsessed with recently, The Terror. And if you don't know what The Terror is, here's a little taste.
You must wonder what we're doing here in your part of the world. We are from England, very far away. We've come here to find a way through to China and India.
Now is our moment to strive to our glory and to our destiny.
Our situation is more dire than you may understand.
That is how you already see it. In need of saving.
I do.
Our men have been out there in unimaginable temperatures. No one can convince me that optimism or confidence is wrong enough.
As a trusted friend once put it, this place wants us dead. What could have done that?
There must be a bear.
Bear did that. I found only one set of prints. Large, 20 inches across. I do not believe it is an animal we battle.
Not a man, not a bear. And what?
Whether it was our grief or fatigue, I cannot say, but some of us became convinced that it continued to track us. Here, back to the ship.
The ice, Georgie. It's only the ice.
I will not lose another man.
We may lose all our men.
And once it's past all hope, the mind goes unnatural with thoughts.
What kind of thoughts?
Darkness.
This kind of darkness. Do you see it among us here?
And as I was watching the show over and over, I noticed something about the theme song. Now, I've been watching this sort of in the background when I'm doing chores. I watched it a few times intently, and this has sort of been my background comfort show. I watch it a lot before I go to bed just to relax. But exposing myself over and over to it, I noticed something that I probably would not have if I had just watched the series beginning to end and then never again. It's about the theme song, and they do a little something different each episode, which I've seen a little bit here and there, like the little houses on the hillside, little houses made of ticket. That was performed by different bands for each episode on the television show Weeds, or maybe it was on each season. I don't remember, but they changed it up. It was the same song, maybe done by different bands. So there is a little bit of an established thing with people messing with the theme songs from episode to episode. But this is the first time I've ever heard the same exact. It's not done by different composers or anything. It's the theme song. But the engineers who mixed it, each episode has a different mix to it for some reason. It is so odd and something I never would have noticed if I would have just watched each episode bam, 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 bam. Or, shit, if there was a week in between, there's no way I would have been able to notice this. But maybe you more attentive people out there would hit this up right off the bat. But, so anyway, let's go ahead and run through them. The theme song is only about 30 seconds long, so we're going to take a few minutes here and go through each one individually. So here is episode 1. Creepy little song, has some environmental hums and drones in the background, an increasing sense of dread as it comes onto you, a really echoey Jamar style toy piano with the reverb really cranked up, sort of tinny in sound a little bit. Those are the things I noticed right off the bat. But let's go ahead and listen to episode number 2. drastically different, but you do hear them leaning into that reverb a little more echoey, a little more disorienting, because the reverb is bouncing off of everything. So let's see how they progress to episode 3. Again, not a huge difference, but if you really pay attention and you look at the actual sound files, you'll see that the background hums and drones are a little more intense in that one. And go back and listen to it, compare 2 to 3 again. It's the number 3. It's just, you can literally see it on the sound file. It just gets a little more thick as it goes, indicating that background hum, that background noise is ramping it up there. So 4 actually looks way more leveled out. There's a less of a ramp to the background noise. Let's see what the difference is there. Hear a lot more piano in that one, if that makes more sense. The Jamar Kids Toy Piano tinky sound has a little less reverb and is brought up to the front a little bit. Let's check out 5. Like the piano was even brighter, and that hum, you just don't hear that background noise until the piano stops playing at the end. You can see it on the file, but it's really buried. It's harder to hear with that featured keyboard there. Let's check out 6. That one, as far as I can tell, was just featuring which background noise was featured. Like, there's sort of like an overall hum that is featured on the first few. But that one, if you listen at the very end more, that has sort of like some shuffling sound, like sheet metal rubbing against itself, maybe? Here, let's take a quick listen and see if you guys can spot that. Here's 6 again, just the tail end. I don't know, just like, I don't know if they're rubbing cymbals together or something, but just gives it a different texture and a different feel. And again, none of these are drastic, but they're noticeable differences to me. How about you guys? Here's 7. Okay, this is where I think I first started noticing, hey, wait a second, there's something different there. This is getting into episode 7. The show itself, is getting pretty dramatic, horrible things are happening at this point. So I wonder if each mix of all these different theme songs sort of indicate the content of the episode. That's an interesting concept. But yeah, number 7 here, you can tell right away that the piano is EQ'd way up. You got way more of the high end, less of the pingy boom bong but to the piano, but they're like a ding ding. So you also hear for the first time, there must have been in the first few, that background hum must have just been a bunch of different things together, because you can actually differentiate a few different things in the background hums of this one. Like, it seems like it starts out with sort of like a violin bow with no rosin, so it's like sort of like going like in a harsh way across the strings. And then at the middle there was something else, but at the very end there was like almost like a feedback. Like if you leave your guitar plugged in and just lean it up against the amp, sometimes you'll get weird feedback loops and such. I want to hear this one again, because I feel like this is the first one that really is stand out different from the others. Did you hear that? The hum come in there. There's a few different hum tones in there that they just really form nice atonal. It's not really harmonies, but yeah, that's just kind of cool. Let's just check in on 8. Even more so than 7, the piano's way more high-pitched tinny. The background hums are more differentiated and accentuated and featured. So it seems like what was featured up front is taking a back seat, and the sort of noise that was all faded together that you couldn't differentiate anything is now becoming individualized as it's brought to the front. Let's check out number 9. Wow, that's almost ethereal there at the end with the all sorts of like crazy reverb. The piano's very high pitched. The background stuff is in the forefront now. The melody, if you can call it that, is seeping to be almost. I mean, you can still pick it out, of course, but it's almost taking a back seat, like I said before. All right, here is the last episode, number 10. Okay, so the melody has dropped. That's a lower third harmony or something to the original melody. So that is way different, right? Let's take another taste of that. And you can hear that. Just listen as it comes in. You hear it. Ding, 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 ding. It almost sounds like on a windy day, a flagpole with the metal hook hitting the flagpole. Ding, 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 ding. Listen to that coming in at the beginning. And the lower harmony there. Da, 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 da. Here comes a horn. Yeah, that totally ethereal effect at the end. Well, I thought that was neat to hear each individual episode, but then I was looking at all the sounds and I was just like, wait, maybe what would it be cool if we maybe overlapped a couple of them just to see what that sounded like. And I think number 7 is where it just first started going totally crazy and one of my favorite takes. And that last one, number 10, with a lower harmony is really cool. So let's take a listen to see what number 7 and number 10 sound like together. See what I mean? Oh, that's fucking cool. So 10 is lower harmony, 7 is the main melody there, and I no way I would have noticed any of these had I not watched the episodes just over and over and over in the background, and then wait a second, hey, something sounds a little different. The Terror is a fictionalized account of Captain Sir John Franklin's doomed expedition to the Arctic from 1845 to 1848 in search of a Northwest Passage to Asia. The cast has a few familiar faces in it. One of my absolute favorites is Jared Harris as Francis Crozier, captain of the HMS Terror. You might know him from Mad Men. My personal favorite appearance of his is in Chernobyl. He was the lead in Chernobyl, one of my absolute favorite miniseries of all time. You might also recognize Tobias Menzies as Commander James Fitzjames. My wife hates him from the series Outlander. Also, you might know Paul Reedy as Harry Goodser. And also one of my other favorites is Kieran Hines as Captain Franklin. He's captain of the HMS Erebus, and you might know him from Game of Thrones, and he's in innumerable historical British TV shows. It's kind of his niche. Anyway, interesting to know. The ships are called HMS Erebus and HMS Terror. And I was like, ooh, what's HMS? That stands for Her Majesty's Ship. And I was like, oh, so I wonder what USS stands for. It can't be as uncreative as United States Ship, can it? And it indeed is as uncreative as that. Anyway, the ships were named so to evoke a sense of fear and intimidation. Erebus is the Greek primordial god of darkness and shadow. And Terror, of course, speaks for itself, the HMS Terror. And the HMS Erebus is the story of the doomed Franklin expedition for the Northwest Passage. If you're interested in checking it out, this show is currently streaming on Netflix.